and it's episode 47 of the FlameFlash.net podcast. Welcome aboard the beta train. That's right, we're in. There were 250,000 more beta invites that went out just an hour ago. I haven't even gotten the email yet, but I rushed off to my Battle.net account and checked. There it is. The client is available for download. Now, what the heck is this guy talking about? Well, by the way, I'm FlameFlash of FlameFlash.net. Welcome aboard if this is your first time stopping by. And this is the FlameFlash.net podcast. I'm talking about the World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria beta. And I'm in. So overnight, we'll be downloading the client. And hopefully, Mom, that's Monk of Mists, starts taking off a little bit as I get to delve in and experiment and play. But the Raptor report is not without its own highlights this week, so we'll start out with a little Mario Kart 7 and the Special Cup of Mario Kart Mirror Course is kicking my butt. I don't know if it's because I haven't played it in a little while or what, but I'm losing handily. Maybe I need to try a different kart configuration. I don't know. Next up, Stronghold Legends, Stronghold 2. I shall blame the sun heavily for those two launching on my laptop, and that's about all I can say about that. He likes those Stronghold games. He likes those map editors. And it's a shame that Minecraft at the lower resolution quality animations and whatnot is all that's really out there right now for a world editor, because I think he'd love it if the graphics were of higher quality. Finally, World of Warcraft. Son and I also hit 85 on our pair this last weekend, so I'm up to 5 80s right now if you're not following me on Twitter, at FlameFlash. I celebrated the fact a little bit when it actually happened, but I'll give a little woohoo now. 585s, 5 at level cap, new record. And Wrath had 4. Now, Druid, Warlock, Death Knight, Mage, Shaman. He's quite enjoying venturing out into the battlegrounds and doing some decent DPS damage in there. If we can find some PvP armor to put him in, I think he could really hold his own. That's what he seems to enjoy doing in the game. Just like his mommy. Beating down those horde. He grabs his sword, or in this case 2 maces, and fights the horde. He's a level 85 warrior. Well, with that out of the way, Darkmoon Faire started as well this week, and as usual, for some odd and unknown reason, my luck just doesn't play out very well. So I've only been able to log in twice this week, even though it's Wednesday evening, for my Darkmoon Faire tickets. I guess that's only missing Monday. Not too shabby. I might miss tonight too, but we'll see. I sacrifice for the followers. Yes. Can you tell I'm happy and excited about the WoW beta? I have it. Almost. Just have to download it now. Overnight. Okay. Some new news regarding the beta, though. The Raptor report was short, naturally, this week. Vendor filters. So you have that mage, you have that shaman, you have whatever class that you celebrate and enjoy. That new monk. You go to a armor vendor, and they have a new filter option that you can then choose. Are you looking for mage, monk, etc.? So I don't know if this is true to all vendors or just the vendors on Pandaria at the moment, but it takes one of the add-on ideas and makes it Blizzard's own. I used to have an add-on that did this, but it must have gone out of date or something. More WoW beta news. Let's see here. So you're going to get spec-specific quest rewards. You start seeing it on the Panda Island. So if you start a new character and go through the 1 through 10 experience before you choose sides, you'll see that the spec you choose, well, I guess you don't even really choose a spec until level 10. Interesting. But you're going to get handed, if you're a Resto Druid, you're going to get Resto Leather. That's it. No more of this, hey, do I want the Resto Leather that's not an upgrade, or do I want the plate armor? Now that I actually think about it, when it's not an upgrade, you're going to start losing gold. Interesting. Because those folks that don't want whatever the quest reward is will sell it, but my Death Knight will make more money from the same quest that my Druid just finished. They probably won't address that either. It's going to be a paltry sum of gold given the inflation that usually comes with a new expansion. I hope 55,000 gold is enough. We'll see. But spec rewards. So, Resto Druid beats that quest. They get Spell Leather. Death Knight. Blood Death Knight beats that quest. They get something Stam and Mastery, maybe a little hit on there, some strength, but it's going to be Death Knight specific plate. A Holy Paladin walks up and completes the quest. You're going to get Spell Power Plate, finally. Finally. What drives me nuts is when it's Spell Power Plate on some random quest, and I was hoping that the sun would, get an upgrade from it. It's a higher item level, but it's a Spell Power Plate. Oh well. So, this is going to be interesting. Now, you may be saying, well, what about when the quest reward doesn't... Well, the quest reward is offering me crap. It's not an upgrade. Switch specs. Before you turn in, switch specs. This is my guess, because I'm not in there yet, but right now, in current game, if you have your heirloom gear unequipped, say you're trying to do the Stormwind dailies, the Orgrimmar fishing daily, etc., so you're in your around town outfit, like I like to be, and you forget, you don't put on your shoulders or your chest piece that give you a bonus to XP. Well, if you put them on and then close the turn-in window and then reopen it, you'll see the true change of how much XP it goes up by just because you're now suddenly wearing the chest and shoulders. It's really neat to watch and see. So, in that same vein, you don't like the armor that's offered? Switch your spec. Then look again. If it doesn't change, well, alright, fine. But we've got time. Once it's available for me to try out, I will try that out and see. I believe from what I've been reading on reports on Twitter, spec switching is currently unavailable. Still pretty buggy. Understandable, it's a beta. But just a random idea to get around that if you've heard things and been scared of it. And besides that, there are going to be vendors that sell greens. So, if you're that Guardian Bear tank questing, and you want to start gearing up your Resto set, you can go track down a green selling vendor, and boom, there you go. It'll be interesting to see if this standardizes enchanting mats at, say, the cheapest green, or if these particular greens are going to be unavailable for disenchant. also will be a future interesting topic in question. And that's right. The annual pass beta access has paid off in spades. I'm super excited, if you can't tell. My druid, warlock, mage, and shaman are all already copying over. Not the Death Knight, because I want to try out a level 85 monk. The Death Knight's going to be fairly straightforward and standard for me, I think. Maybe something I copy over in later endeavors. But this seemed like a good starting point for me. Let's see here. Oh, the WoW beta. Still talking about the beta, even though I'm not technically in it yet. You know how when you walk around, say on a gather quest, or go investigate this quest, or go talk to somebody quest, in current game, when you do this, you have to find this person. You have to track them down. You have to go looking closely at the screen. You scan your mouse over the screen looking for that sudden gear to pop up and say, oh, I can click on that. No more. When it's something you gather, when it's something you use, when it's somebody you talk to, there are going to be specialized gold icons. Quest gold icons that will pop up over their heads. Say a word bubble if you're supposed to go talk to them, or a gold gear shining above it when you're supposed to go and use that device or gather it up. Awesome. This should help streamline questing a little bit and increase the fun as opposed to, oh crap, where is this guy? And the Wowhead searches. Sorry guys. Still go to Wowhead for many other things, trust me. So, Blizzard product lines now also have Facebook timelines. So if you don't have Twitter and you do have Facebook, this is a good place to go to watch for any neat announcements that they might be advertising there. All three lines, StarCraft, Diablo, and World of Warcraft, have their own timelines. I believe the Umbrella Company also has their timeline. Maybe that's where we'll get a Lost Vikings announcement for, say, iOS. Anybody? Please? I'll toss that out there. So, random other news this week. It's just a bunch of good news for me. But we'll stop by, sit back, stretch out, and suddenly mock Netflix. Oh, yeah. Because what they're going to do is split these services again. They're not going to call it Quickster, so don't worry about that. They're not changing the name. They realized that was a very, very bad idea. But if you are a streaming subscriber, you will only see streaming search results once this switch is made. If you are a disc-only person, you will only see disc search results. If you have both, you'll see both still. Forget about it. But what? So if I rate, we're still having this cross-platform problem. So if I rate a streaming movie and it's also available in disc, I'll have to rate it in both places. Or at least that's the impression that I've gotten from my readings thus far on it. So Netflix needs to step up their game a little bit and perhaps add games to the library. Though, with all of the PS4, Xbox 720 rumors that are floating around, not stepping into the video game rent by mail system may have been a very smart step. That's because one of the rumors is these new consoles won't be allowed to play used games, or in other words, rented games. Or they will hopefully adapt and perhaps use a free hour play like PlayStation Plus currently offers, so I can step up and say, I'd like to try that game out. They give it to me for an hour. That should give me enough time, if I'm allowed solid hour of playtime, to know if the game would actually be a good fit for me or not. If it's not, I move on, delete the demo off my system, and that's that. If I like it, I might just buy it digitally, right then and there. The age of console discs is supposedly almost at an end. It's kind of sad. But before that happens, we have the PlayStation 3 Amazon Prime app. Awesome. So if you're an Amazon subscriber, Flameflash.net happens to be an affiliate of Amazon.com, so go to our site, click the little ad button, buy some stuff for yourself, and we get that tiny little commission for it. Just saying. Subtle hint. Go forth, please. Anyway. Prime app. So all that stuff that you could watch on the Kindle Fire or on the Amazon site, you will now be able to link your PS3 to your Amazon account and watch it there. Super cool. There's not been very much that I've been interested in actually watching from skimming over their library, but it's growing all the time, as they say on their website, so eventually, one day, they might catch up to Netflix. Having the option of both, epic. So, world's creepiest app, Girls Around Me, got shut down. I applaud them for shutting them down. Foursquare. It was a Foursquare tie-in app. Foursquare is a social networking site that pings your location with your GPS and smartphone and announces to the world where you are. Well, this took it that one step creepy factor forward and said, hey, whose Foursquare accounts are female in the area around me? And if they've tied their Facebook profiles to their Foursquare accounts and don't have good privacy settings, that's going to be a potential big problem. Fortunately, from what has been said by the company, which of course they'd say that, nobody's been hurt. But I'm still glad it's gone. One of those apps that I'm not sure was even a good idea in the drawing board. No. Alright. Speaking of, well, that's a weird segue. Supreme Court ruling to allow strip searches for any arrest. Awkward segue from that creepy app. I apologize. But that's about it, really. Disturbing headline. So I guess if you're arrested for jaywalking, they could technically strip search you. Better not jaywalk, people. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, I don't really like that ruling. It's something that I would have to read the decision of, but it seems pretty extreme. So this is one time I'm going to say Supreme Court, you screwed up, people. You screwed up big time. I can't wait until that next case comes in front of you because some police officer decided to take your ruling one step too far. I'll leave it at that. Let's get to a little friendlier, happier news. The flying car test flight, the PAL V1, supposedly went over quite well. This thing looks like a tricycle with a helicopter propeller and rudder that fold in and transform. Hey, it transforms. But runs on regular gasoline, and it's a little gyrocopter that can also drive on the roads. Neat. No passenger space to speak of from what I could see on the pictures, but still cool. After all, we were promised flying cars in, what, 3 more years, if Back to the Future was to be correct? So, how about more creepy laws? Arizona wants to pass a law against internet trolling. LOL. I'm sorry, but can you even define internet trolling for me, please? Because that can be anything from, say, the Blizzard April 1st jokes to cyberbullying. That's a pretty huge... I don't have an HD camera, so I can't really stretch my hands out that far if you're watching the camera. But that's a pretty huge margin right there. Big gap. You could drive one of those internet tube trucks straight through it. It's just another proof positive that the government has no idea how to use the internet. Anonymous, when it took it one step further, created a form and allowed people, or offered the possibility of folks to fax this form into the Arizona governor's office as a form of, well, trolling and complaining. I mean, how are they going to handle the interstate trolling possibilities? That's going to go right to the U.S. Supreme Court because it's intrastate. Interstate, not intrastate, sorry. How about this for a rumor then? I'm all over the map. I'm excited about the beta, I guess. Wii U will launch in November of this year. Yay? Oh, that's right. I'm not overly interested. I have an iPad, I have a Wii. I don't need them to work together. But the fact that it's not backwards compatible all the way to the GameCube, again, sell me on what's actually coming, people. A new Mario Kart? That might sell me. Assassin's Creed 3? Not so much. Sell me on the system. Give me what Nintendo is working on for this system. A new Mario? Something. Please, tell me. Ugh. And it's the same stance I have with the PS4 and the Xbox 720. If you're not going to be backwards compatible, if you're not going to allow used games, I'm going to sit back and wait and not buy these at launch. I'm going to wait until some price drops happen. I'm going to wait until there is a nice back catalog of games I'd like to play. Heck, I've got a back catalog of games I'd like to play right now, sitting on my shelf. So I'm fine, gaming-wise. Just fine. Except I do want that Double Dragon Neon that was just announced tonight. That's right, Double Dragon. Again. Awesome. Now, if this doesn't bring back memories, I'm not sure what will. If you are a Nintendo child, a child of Nintendo, the original Double Dragon for the NES was a bit of a departure from the arcade game, but also had that fun 2-player versus mode where you could use the various characters that you usually end up fighting on the street as well. And then, of course, there was that nifty elbowing cheat where you would level up your character to max and then move on. But Double Dragon Neon, probably one I will be picking up, hopefully with a PlayStation Plus discount whenever it comes out. I really appreciate these retro games and definitely the chance to play with my kids on them. Now I'm tempted to fire up Amazon Prime and see how bad that Double Dragon movie is on the PS3. Oh well. Speaking of Prime, we'll shift to another Prime. Prime World. It's a League of Legends style, so it's a massively multiplayer online strategy game, is my understanding. If you're of the female persuasion, you supposedly get bonuses. how is this a good or wise thing? All I can see that doing is encouraging guys to lie about their gender to the game. I mean, I play... Of my 85s, amusingly enough, 3 are Draenei. 2 are female Draenei. 1 is a female Night Elf Druid, and then my Warlock and Mage are both male. So, does that mean in Prime World's world, I would get some kind of a stat bonus because I play a female character? Something doesn't sit well with me on that. Seems like either a, hey, I'm a gal, please come and harass me instead of letting me play the game, will show up, or it's just a bunch of guys going, yeah, I'm a woman. It doesn't make any sense. It's the old AOL chat rule of always assume the other person and other people in the chat room are lying, male, and 25. Then you're safe and covered. I mean, maybe if you want to reduce their age or increase their age, but assume they're male. Don't ask for pictures. Of course, the whole AOL chat room thing's long past, but you just assume when you're playing an MMO and it's a female character that it's probably a male player. Not always true. My wife plays a couple of female characters herself. But... and that's normally true, oddly. The female players generally play female characters, and the male players are all over the map. Go figure. But I also won't be probably playing Prime World, so maybe they're hitting the nail right on the head and solving all sorts of gender balance issues because of it. We'll see. But I'm going to go and download the beta. So this is Flameflash of flameflash.net. Soon to be signing off. Be sure, follow me somewhere. I'm on YouTube as Flameflash82. You know, if you want to find these as video form. We're out on iTunes if you're finding us there. Many thanks. And then we also have Ustream live at some point on Wednesday nights usually. And podcast at flameflash.net if you want to write in with some comments, suggestions, or just to throw things, I suppose. Or if you're very, very jealous of the fact that I'm now in the beta. Yeah, I thought I'd mention that one last time, just in case you missed it. But this is Flameflash, of flameflash.net, signing off.